All right, make sure as we're going through, guys, that you are checking everything with yours. I am going to show you on the calculator as we go through and do these first fraction problems, just because I think it will be more convenient for you on your test, okay? Don't forget your fraction button. So we have 3/7 times 4/7, and that gives you 12/49. Now, that's already simplified. If it's in your calculator like that, there's no number that can go into 12 and 49 evenly. Okay? So 3/8 divided by 6/9, and that would be 9/16. And that one does simplify for you. Okay? When you have a mixed number, what am I going to do with my calculator? What do I have to do? Anybody?
You have to put, like, you do 6.
Okay.
Fraction button.
Got it.
And then 2 fraction button. And then 30.
Yes, you've got to hit that fraction button in between your whole number and your fraction, and then your numerator and denominator. So times 3 and 3/4, and that would give us. Now, when it gives me just 25, what does that mean? That's it. It's 25. If you wrote 25/1, that's fine, but the answer would just be 25. Okay? So next one is 5 1/4 divided by 4 1/2. And remember, that little half U means a space, so that would be 1 1/6. So 1 1/6. Okay? And number 5, that is 8 times 3 2/6. So that would be 26 2/3. Do you have any questions so far? Everybody roughly getting the same answers? 11/15. Okay. So again, first thing on your test should be multiplication and division of fractions and mixed numbers. Big question of the day yesterday was, what is a reciprocal? What is a reciprocal?
I know.
What is it?
Only two numbers that have a product of 1.
Okay, that's right. That is the definition. They always have a product of 1 when we multiply them together. But Emma, what?
It's the flip.
It's the flip. Okay, that's the easiest way for us to remember. So your reciprocal is the flip. And this came from when we divided fractions, so keep, change, flip. So what's the reciprocal of 7/8? 8/7. No, do not change it to a mixed number. You want the reciprocal. The reciprocal of 7/8 is 8/7. What about 10/12? 12/10. Now, when I have a mixed number, I have to change it to an improper fraction first. So 1 times 7 is what? Plus 6? 13. So my fraction is 13/7, so the reciprocal is 7/13. You've got to make it improper before you can find the reciprocal. Okay, what is 1 1/2 as an improper fraction? 3/2, 3/2. So the reciprocal would be 2/3. All right, number 8. What is the numerator when 1/3 is divided by 2/3? This is very important. You've got to know that if I'm doing 1/3 divided by 2/3, that becomes 1/3, keep, change, flip. So what would my denominator be? I'm sorry, what would my numerator be? All right, look at this. 1/3, it'd be 3. Well, okay, I see what you're saying. Did you simplify? Okay, so this would be 3/6. So your your numerator could be 1. Yeah, if it's either 1/2 or 3, 6. So 1 or 3. Because you would get 3, 6 as your answer, which is simplified to 1/2. And like I said, with a multiple choice test, if you get 1/2 and you don't see 1 as an answer choice, but 3 is, you've got to pick what's most correct. All right, Bill used 10 bricks to make the house that is pictured. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Exactly 1/5 of the house will be painted brown. What is the total number of bricks that will be painted brown? Look at this word right here. 1/5 of means to
Multiply.
Very good. And that's 10 over 1. So that would be 10 over 5, which is the same as 2. So only 2 of these bricks would be painted brown. Now, if I look at this, what happens? If I want 1/5 of this, can I divide this house into fifths? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if I want 1/5 of that, that's 2 bricks. Okay, any questions so far, 1 through 9?
No. Yes.
Yes.
I have a question on number 8.
Okay. Right here. What is the numerator when 1/3 is divided by 2/3? Okay, let me flip to some paper real quick so we can see. So you have 1/3 divided by 2/3. Okay? So using our rule of keep, change, and flip, my answer becomes 3 over 6. And what we were saying earlier is 3 could be your numerator, or if you simplify 3, 6, that is 1/2, so 1 could be your numerator as well. Does that help a little bit? Okay. All right, number 10. On 10 different days, Belle read a book for 1/5 of an hour. What is the total amount of time that should be Belle, or Bill, will read his book? This should actually be Bill. Okay. So he read a book for 1/5 of an hour for 10 days. So if we do 1/5 of an hour times 10 days, what total amount of time did he read his book? 2 hours.
Exact same thing. 2 hours. I just put 2 though.
Yeah, it'd be 2 hours.
It's like the same problem as us.
It is the exact same problem, yeah. It's just written a different way. Okay, graphing. Now, the thing that might be a little bit different, because as I told you, your 9 weeks test is all multiple choice. So, you're not really going to be able to create a graph. But what you're going to do is you're going to have graphs, and you're going to choose the one that's correct. So, things you need to pay attention to. Let's fill out our chart first. We have 1 cup of sauce for every 2 cups of cheese. So, if I use 2 cups of sauce, how many cups of cheese do I have?
4.
Okay. If I have 3, how many do I have?
6.
4
8.
and 5.
9.
Okay. But this says sauce is my x-axis, so I need to come down here and label sauce. And cheese is my y-axis, so I'm going to label cheese. Now, here's my word of advice. When you have a graph and you're trying to decide if it's the right one or not, start with what your x and y axis are labeled. Because if this said cheese and this said sauce, immediately you would know that graph can't be the right one. So you've got to make sure you know. Alright, the next thing it wants us to do is list our ordered pairs. So 1, 2, 2, 4, 3, 6, 4, 8, and 5, 10. Then we've got to graph those. We go over 1 up 2, over 2 up 4, over 3 up 6, over 4 up 8, and over 5 up 10. So this is what your graph should look like. Okay? Number 12, the table below indicates the cups of tomatoes required to make different numbers of servings of spaghetti. According to this table, how many cups of tomatoes will be needed for 10 servings? All right, first thing I want to actually figure out is how many cups of tomato are in one serving. So if I have 4.5 for 3, how many cups do I have for 1? Can I divide this to find out?
Yes.
So if I do 4.5 divided by 3, 1.5. So that tells me that for, this is servings, I have 1.5 cups for every serving. So if I'm looking for 10 servings, what do?
You do 1.5 times 4.
I do what now?
1.5 times 10.
1.5 times 10, absolutely. Okay, so 1.5 times 10, and that would give me 15 cups. And what it was doing here,
16.
you got 16?
Yeah, I think 16.
Ah, do you see why? Okay, let's talk, let's look. But right here, you're going 3 to 5, you're adding 2. 5 to 7, you're adding 2. 7 to 9, you're adding 2. 9 to 10, you're adding
I noticed
1.
But like the thing is that I just didn't know.
So you had to be careful. This one, every time, yes, they were adding 3 because they were going up 2 cups or 2 servings. It's 3. But right here, they only went up 1 serving, so they only added 1.5 to get that.
So
That was a little tricky, I will be honest.
so if you add 1, it would just I don't get that. How
So-
how do you go from 13 to 15?
I figured out my unit rate. Because 13.5 plus 1.5. Because it's 1.5 cups per serving. So 1.5 cups per 1 serving. So I'm adding 1.5 because I went up 1 serving. Because you remember when it's like finding your unit rate. If I know that 4.5 cups are in 3 servings, I divide to find out how many are in 1. Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay, let's look at the back. Sarah uses the tape diagram below to illustrate the ratio of goldfish to angelfish in her aquarium. If 4 more sections are added to the goldfish tape, how many more sections must be added to the angelfish? So what is your ratio of goldfish to angelfish? Say it again? 2 to 1. Okay, this means for every 1 angelfish, there are 2 goldfish. So if they added 4 more on the goldfish, how many would they have to add to the angelfish? 2 more. Very good. Because here's your 4 right here. This would be adding 2 more right here. All right. Double number line. Your answer's 2. 2 more angelfish.
But I just
Hey guys, make sure you're listening. All right, let's look at this again. This is a 2 to 1 ratio. For every 2 goldfish, there is 1 angelfish. Okay? So if I add 4 more goldfish, then I've got to add 2 more angelfish. Because every time you're drawing 2 of these boxes, you have 1 of these. Yes?
But I just did 12 divided by 6.
And got 2? Yeah. That would work. Okay, here we go. Double number line. This was the one I told you. So we always start at what? 0, 0. And for 2 staplers, it took us 40 staples. That was the number we had to add to our problem that was missing. And we want to know how many staples it will take for 10 staplers. How do I go from 2 to 10? Times 5. Very good. So I have to do the same thing up here. 200. So there will be 200 staples to fill up 10 staplers. That was the, remember I told you to go back and add this number because it was missing from your problem yesterday when I gave you your study guide?
Oh.
Because there were 40 staples in 2 staplers. Yeah, I gave you the number yesterday because it's missing from your problem. Yes. All right, number 15. There are 10 boys to every 12 girls in my class. What is the ratio of girls to boys in my class? 12 to 10. Can we simplify that? What would we get? No, don't make it a mixed number. 6 to 5. Don't make it a mixed number. Remember, a ratio is a comparison of 2 things. It's okay to be improper. We want to leave it improper. Mr. Baker bought a 13-pound bag of dog food for $34.45. How much did he pay per pound? All right, what do we do first? Divide what?
34 divide 5.
Yes, because what does Mr. Krabs say? Money first. 34, 45, divided by 13, $2.65 per pound. Okay? So $2.65 per pound. Okay, Sean's class sorted crayons in art class. The class found 12 red crayons in 3 minutes. How long did it take them to find 36? Okay, so if we have a 12 to 3 ratio, 12 crayons in 3 minutes, okay, and we want to know how long it's going to take them to find 36, how do I go from 12 to 36? Okay, times 3, so do the same to the bottom. So how many minutes would it take? 9 minutes. Very good. Okay, the ratio of students wearing sneakers to flip-flops is 2 to 5. So here's my ratio. Sneakers to flip-flops, 2 to 5. If 14 students wear sneakers, how many students are wearing flip-flops? How do I go from 2 to 14?
7.
Do the same to the bottom. So how many students? 35. So you ask yourself, how did I go from 2 to 14? Times 7, you have to do the same to the bottom, and that will give us 35. Okay, number 19, the ratio of kids wearing scarves to not wearing scarves is 12 to 9. Write 2 statements that represent the same ratio about the number of scarves. So we already know wearing scarves to not wearing scarves is 12 to 9. What other statements could we make? What you got, Joshua?
You could say it's also 4 to 3.
4 to 3? Okay. So wearing scarves to not wearing is 4 to 3. Okay. Is there one I could do that deals with the total number of students?
Yeah.
What could I do?
The students are wearing scarves to their total number of scarves.
Okay, so wearing scarves to total number of students is, all right, wearing scarves is 12. What's the total number of students?
36.
21. Because we've got 9 plus 12.
It's going to be our 9%.
Remember, it's all multiple choice. You got to be able to recognize these relationships about ratios.
That's not going to be okay.
All right, number 20 was the one I told you to omit because we're missing the boxes. All right, 81 miles in 9 hours is a unit rate. Hopefully we didn't have to use our calculator.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
What would that be? How many miles per hour?
9
9 miles per hour. Because you're doing 81 divided by 9.
9 miles and what?
9 miles per hour. Hopefully they
9
are,
miles and 9 hours.
should be in 1
I
hour.
don't even know why I put 1.
Okay, Sally can do 3 push-ups in 10 seconds. Jenny can do 9 push-ups in 20 seconds. Are those equivalent? Yes or no? What do we think?
Yes. I do.
They're not. Why?
Because if you simplify 9/27, it equals 3. 1/3 and not 3/10.
Okay.
So you know that it's not equal.
Fantastic. Okay, what Emma just said was, if I have 3/10, this is already simplified. But if I have 9/27, I can simplify that to 1/3. Okay? These are not equivalent because they don't represent the same simplified ratio. We'll write this down real quick. If you're ever unsure, if you simplify it, then you'll know if they are equivalent or not.
I just simplified. I just put ratio.
Yeah.
Because that would be 3, but then the final unit rate from 9/27 is the final rate for 3.
Right. Absolutely. All right, there are 42 kids in band. 18 of them play saxophone. What is the ratio of students not playing saxophone to the entire class? Okay, so we know our second number automatically is going to be what? 42? Because that's the total number of kids in class. What number of students do not play saxophone? 18 of them play the saxophone. 24. So 24 to 42, could we simplify that?
Is it okay if I said
Say it again.
24 kids? Is it okay if I said 24 kids not playing saxophone?
No, it should be...
24 kids.
Hang on. Wait just a second. No. We're doing... Hey, hang on one second. No, some of you are dividing by 2, which gives you 12 to 21. 12 to 21 can still be simplified. So, yes, 4 to 7.
I just put 24 kids. Is that okay?
Yeah.
No, because it asks for what is the ratio of students not playing saxophone to the entire class. So it is looking for the ratio.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to have 2 numbers. Okay, ratio of children to adults at the movies is 8 to 4. What is the equivalent unit rate? Your choices are 2 children per adult, 4 children per adult, 2 adults per child, and 4 adults per child. Which is the correct one? A, 2 children per adult. Because if you got 8 to 4, that would simplify 2 to 1. Okay, any questions so far?